drift you. Hey team, welcome back to the channel. Today we are putting in some work on the new truck that you guys saw in the last episode, my titanium edition D40 Navara. Now obviously I don't usually do four-wheel drives on the channel, but when we're drifting, tow rigs are just as important as the drift car themselves, because without these bad boys we would not be getting to the track at all. So maintenance is very, very important, and also not buying crap vehicles is very, very important. As you saw the last episode, we lost the Great Wall, RIP, but I'm not really annoyed about that. Although it did add about 6 hours onto that journey, it also resulted in me getting this awesome truck. Now this is a titanium edition. There's about 1,000 of them imported into Australia. It just means that they're a little bit more fancy. They've got the gunmetal grey wheels, the nice 17s. They've got these decals down the side, the roof racks. They've also got the tub liner and a couple of other nifty wee features just to make the thing super comfortable. This model I obviously haven't bought brand new, it's second hand. It's done 170,000 Ks, but they do have a couple of issues, the Navaras, and I made sure that this one had a brand new timing chain, the double row timing chain, the better timing chains, a brand new head put on it, new head gasket, new studs, new clutch, and this thing it really does feel like a new truck, which is awesome. They did a really nice job on it, so I'm very, very happy with it. But of course, we cannot leave this truck in stock form. It just wouldn't be right. You know, image is everything, especially I guess in the drifting world. We have to make sure that our stuff's always looking good. So as you can see, it's running stock tires and stock height at the moment. So today we're going to lift the truck. We're going to give it a 2-inch lift, and we're going to put some big beefy tires on it. They're not huge, but they're a lot more aggressive than what we've got on it at the moment. So we're just doing a really basic lift kit. We've just got spacers for the front. These are shock spacers. Where these go is in here between the top of the shock and where the shock mounts, and it lifts. Although this is a 35mm spacer, it actually lifts the car about 50 mils I think, which is awesome. And then in the back, instead of shackles, which I had on my last one, I've opted to go for the blocks, which literally just go between the leaf spring and the diff and just lift it up that much, which is cool. So we're gonna go ahead and install that. We'll get the truck up on the hoist, and my good friend Dan is coming down from Late Night Tyres. He has a mobile tyre service. He's gonna take the wheels off and put our nice new tyres on. So very stoked. Let's get into it. Awesome, car's up on the hoist, wheels are off. So for the rears, these blocks just get installed in between the leaf, which is this, the leaf spring, and the diff here. So we undo these U-bolts that come stock on the car. Obviously we're putting the longer ones in, and then we'll separate the diff from the leaf spring, put the spacer in the middle, and then put the new U-bolts on, which is awesome. It allows us to maintain our stock suspension feel in the car as well, which is great, because I don't really want the car to change much in terms of the way it feels when it drives. And I'm not really going to do a crazy amount of off-roading or anything. This is more just to have the car kind of looking a little bit nicer, a little bit stauncher. I do go off-road every now and then. I went recently with my Great Wall, actually, RIP. So it will be nice just to have that little bit more ground clearance. We'll go ahead, undo these U-bolts and chuck the spacer in. Alright, so we've undone the stock U-bolts, and you also actually have to undo the stock shock as well, so the diff drops down, so that you can kind of see, if you drop the jack down, the diff comes down, and that's where you put the spacer in the middle. I'll put the jack under the diff in the middle, and I'll undo the other side so that we can lower it and do both sides at the same time. But my friend Dan from Late Night Tyres is here with his awesome mobile setup. So freaking cool, and he's here to put our new muddies on. These things look freaking sick. Cheers Dan for hooking them up. So he's got his wee mobile rig, and he'll come anywhere in Melbourne. Metro, right?
More east side, but
yeah, sweet. So if you guys need any tyres done, he also does alignments. He'll come to you, which is freaking crazy. So hit up Late Night Tyres on Instagram. This truck is just freaking sick. I love it. And best thing is, it's refrigerated, so in the summer when he's smashing tyres at events, changing tyres for everyone, he can crank the refrigeration and stay cool. Dude, these tyres are gonna look sick. So I'm gonna let him do these changes while we go ahead. I'll whip the other wheel off and we're gonna take the other U-bolts out, lower the diff down and chuck these rear spacers in. Boom, we're good to go. So we just drop the diff down via the handle and then we can put our spacers in. Oh, don't drop the diff down too much. So, spacer literally just slips in between the diff and it has a little dowel on the bottom. So that just slides in. Boom, just like that. And then we put the U-bolts over the top and do it back up like stock. Definitely not rocket science. Just like that. Late night tyres, ladies and gentlemen, that is rad. Sick, so we have both blocks in, U-bolts are in, looks freaking perfect. Really stoked with that, super easy. So now I just need to put the shock bolts back in and buzz these actual U-bolts up. And then one of our tyres is fitted, so I'll show you guys the difference. So that's what the stock one looked like. There's a 265 65 17, and then this is what the new ones look like. Woo! Heaps more aggressive. 265 70 17. This is kind of more of a mud tyre and it looks freaking awesome. This is as big as you'll fit under the guards without scraping, and I don't want it to scrape at all, so this is as big as you'll fit under stock guards with this 2-inch lift. So I'm pumped. So good. Tow Rig Diaries. That's what it's all about. So I've made sure everything is done up nice and tight by hand, not just with the rattle gun, because that's not how we roll. Suspension is super important. All back together. So we'll chuck a wheel on now and then we're going to move on to the front. So we need to undo this bolt here and hit that off. That's fine. We've undone the sway bar and we have to undo the actual shock itself, top and bottom, with this bolt down here, and then it'll pull out. And make sure also that we undo our brake line brackets, otherwise when all this comes down it'll pull hard on the brake line and you can snap that, and that's always going to be a really bad time, as well as the ABS lines as well. And then you'll be able to lower it all down and put the spacer on top. Now the reason we have to undo the whole shock is because we have our spacer here, and as you can see the bolt patterns are opposite, so when you fit it the shock has to be spun 180 to actually be able to bolt back into its place. Pretty simple really. So we're going to go ahead, whip this all out, fit it up, then we can put the front wheels on, put it all back together, and we can see how the truck sits. So keen. Oh wow, I don't even have to hit that one off, that's just going to come down as it is. So I'll get the jack and put it under. Alright, the shock is down. I didn't actually have to undo this top knuckle all the way yet, so maybe we won't. So this just slides on the top, boom, just like that. Then we've got to do the nylon bolts up, and then we'll try and see if we can put it all back together. And we're done. It was not super hard. It's more about just taking your time and making sure that you get things right. So now all we've got to do is put the wheels on, and then we can lower it down and see how it looks with its nice new lift kit. These tyres are so cool. They have like lightning bolts in the tyres because they're called Thunderers. I like stuff like that. Also, how freaking sick is this thing? I say it all the time, but it's just so cool. Alright, so the car is all back together. Wheels are back on. Dan had to leave, but I want to put a massive shout out to Dan from Late Night Tyres for coming along, fitting my wheels up. I didn't even have to freaking go anywhere. It's ridiculous. So guys, if you're in Melbourne and you need any service like that, you know where to go. But right now we're going to let this down and see what the height's like, which I'm pretty pumped for. Booyah! Looking good, guys. Woo! That is so much better. I'm sure it'll settle a little bit, but looks freaking awesome, and it's perfectly level as well, which I was really hoping for. Don't like it when the back or the front is higher than the other. Yes! So stoked. I'll back it out and see how it all looks when it's not in between the hoist. That's how she come out. Looks so much better. Just way more aggressive. Very, very stoked with that. Last thing I need to do, of course, is put a 2-step garage window banner up top, and she's complete, and give her a nice cut and polish and detail, but way stoked. Put some spotties on the front. Love those tyres. Just very happy with the whole look. Ew. That's a wrap, guys, on what was a bit of a different video for the channel, but definitely necessary. Look after your tow rigs, because they're what pull your race cars. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Of course, as always, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram @itsmikeblake, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers. Peace.